How's it going, everybody? Geeky Gambit here, and we are back again on another glorious Loki Wednesday. Now, before I get started, I would like to say, spoiler alert, okay? Spoiler warning. I will be getting into some key moments in Loki episode 3, so if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out and then come back, and then you can watch this video. So as I predicted last week, the episode does indeed start out with Lady Loki and Loki traveling to the TVA only to be quickly teleported away to the planet Lamentis. So I think Lamentis was maybe on like the travel log of the teleportation device of some sort, and it is currently one of the places that is under an apocalyptic event. And in this particular case, it appears to be one where another planet is crashing down into that one. So while on Lamentis, Lady Loki and Loki are trapped because their teleportation device has ran out of power. And I mean, oh man, ain't that the worst? Gotta hate it when your interdimensional travel device runs out of juice, am I right?
Honestly, we're out of gas.
No, I personally love the episode. I thought it was fun. I mean, it was funny. The action sequences were pretty quick, but they were cool overall. In total, I'd probably give the episode about like an 8 out of 10. My favorite scene was definitely the drunk Loki scene, and throws the cup down, yelling "another," kind of just like how we saw Thor do in his first movie.
Another!
So in terms of pushing the narrative forward, we did get some pretty important information during this episode. We did get a bit of a backstory for Lady Loki, or I guess I can call her Sylvie from now on. We do know that she found out that she was adopted at a fairly young age, and she doesn't remember her mother all that well other than fragments, which is pretty sad. We found out that she taught herself how she does the enchanting spell, and because of that little moment right there, it kind of confirms to me that more than likely our Loki will learn this power as well by the end of the show. So that's some of the difference we get between Sylvie and Loki, but I'm sure we'll find out a lot more as the series progresses. Now, we also did find out a little bit more about Loki himself in terms of powers. We did see for the first time in the MCU, at least, him using his green magic blasts to, kind of throw people. So that was pretty cool. Another thing that I feel like no one is talking about is during the episode when they're running away while the planet's exploding and stuff, a building starts to fall on them, and and Loki's like, "Oh, don't worry, I got this." And then he kind of like throws it back. To me, when I first watched that, it really looked like the building reversed back to how it was falling. And that kind of indicated to me, oh, like the time stone, like that looked just like how it was in Doctor Strange right after he beat Dormammu and he was repairing all of the damage there. And then because of that, I went back and I watched episode 1. And really, he picks up the time stone and you never see him put it back. Granted, there is a little clicking noise, so that would kind of, indicate that maybe he just dropped it back in there, but you never really see it. So, who knows? For all we know, Loki could have a pocket full of all of the stones, Now, that doesn't mean for sure that that's what happened. This is just a theory of mine. Like, very well could be that he just used telekinesis or some sort of magic of some sort. And even if that's the case, I wouldn't really complain. I mean, I'm all for Loki having more powers and getting more powerful. I'm not against that at all. And also, if you're gonna say like, oh, well, the time stone or the time stone and the stones don't work anymore, and like that's not the case. They just don't work at the TVA. Like during this scene, they're not in the TVA. They're just on a separate planet. So the stones very well would work there. All right, and moving on to the big reveal of this episode, and that was that actually every TVA member is a variant. They're not actually created by the Timekeepers like Mobius said in the previous episode. Now this opens up a realm of possibilities. Kang, sorry, but at the very least it confirms that the TVA is built up of lies. If they lied about how everyone got there and who they all are, it's very possible that they could be lying about who's actually in charge. I do believe the only one that actually knows what's going on at the TVA is Judge Renslayer, and in the comics she's actually the love interest of Kang, so 1 + 1 does equal 2. Come on, guys. Now, for next week's episode, the big question is, how are they going to get off the planet? And that's a pretty good question. I do have a couple theories, so let me get into those. But my personal theory is Morbius will actually show up and attempt and possibly succeed in capturing them. And then at this moment, they will both, talk to Morbius and be like, hey, man, like, your life's a lie. The TVA's bad. So then, they're going to be all like, oh, okay, well, let's go take down the TVA, or at the very least figure out what's really going on. And I do believe if anyone can be saved by the TVA, like from their clutches, so to speak, it would be Morbius. I think he's going to leave this show being more or less a good guy, riding off into the sunset on a jet ski. That's what I want to see, at least. So if this is the case, then I believe Morbius will probably be the one to realize, like, hey, if we're taking on the TVA, if we're going in there, we're going to need some backup, right? At this point, more than likely, the headquarters are probably stocked back up. They probably fixed all the problems, maybe not all of them, but they're, it's probably being defended once again. And at this point, once again, I hope I see a Loki recruitment montage. I think that would be so cool. I'm never gonna let this go. If I don't get this during the show, I'm gonna be really upset. And I mean, like, Morbius more than likely knows where he can find the other Loki variants, so it could work, okay? Bear with me. This could happen. It's not just hopes and dreams. It could really happen, okay? So if this is the case, then more than likely at the end of the episode, it'll end with, they've got all the squad together and they're ready to attack, and that would leave the remaining 2 episodes for an epic climax battle and then, big twist. However, there is the possibility, if I am right about it being the time stone, then Loki could just, rewind time and recreate or fix his time travel device, and then it could all just be a ploy at trying to get Sylvie to, tell more about herself or explain what's really going on, dive deeper into that, and he's really just, trying to trick her, hopefully at the last moment. Right before they're about to die, he reveals, like, oh, like, I could have fixed this all along. No big deal. I mean, that's a Loki thing, so that wouldn't surprise me too much either. Well, those are all my theories. If you have any of your own, post them down in those comments. I love this, so anything you have to say, I want to hear about it. If you have any different opinions or different theories, I'm all for it. As usual, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys all again next week. Peace.